How about we switch it over to Major League Baseball? And if you love that 7-game World Series last year that ended in unbelievable fashion with the Dodgers winning a championship, we haven't had any repeats so far. It's been all Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. And today, Shohei Ohtani is going to go up against Dylan Cease. 2 aces on the mound. Doesn't matter. Look at that price point here. Minus 164 for the Dodgers as a road favorite, and a total between 7.5 and 8, depending where you're shopping at. The Dodgers looking to sweep out Toronto after that exciting World Series last year. Joe, what's your spread line here for this one?
The Blue Jays are about to get swept back-to-back series here, Donnie, at home at the Rogers. Not good here for the Toronto Blue Jays, but it just doesn't this feel like a cheap price with Ohtani on the mound in this one here? But it's going to be a mid-afternoon game, right? 3 o'clock Eastern time, I think, is going to be the first pitch there. Dylan Cease, not exactly, they kind of got him for this purpose, didn't they? That they got to be able to go ahead and throw at least somebody like this against Ohtani. Well, all right, we're going to see if it was a good acquisition one way or the other. I have my doubts because it's the bats of the Blue Jays that have been letting them down here. Feels like an under is in store for this game.
Yesterday, Eovaldi outdid George Kirby on the mound. Now we have Seattle and Texas going to play an afternoon game down in Texas. Wu was on the mound facing the lefty Gore, the favorite in this game slightly, but it is towards the Mariners, the road team here, Joe. Give or take minus 120 to minus 125, depending on where you're shopping at, and a total that is listed at 8. Seattle and Texas looking to do battle out in the AL West this season. We got an afternoon action game today. What is your spread line here, Joe?
Normally, I'd like to say give me the over, Donnie, but you can't. With these two guys on the mound here, I'm looking at an under again.
Maybe an under in the afternoon. Major League Baseball, full slate today. Love to see it. We'll be right back after this quick break. It's cold in April in some areas in the Northeast and the Pacific Northwest, and maybe there's a carryover from spring training that says we're just not ramped up for full-time starters that are going up against our batters. We'll take a look at the worst batting averages in baseball so far, Joe. Whew, almost had a sneeze right there at this point. 188. That's how cold it is right now. 188 is a batting average for the Seattle Mariners at 4-7 on this season. But I got to tell you, Joe, look at this graphic. 2 teams on this graphic are actually above 500. The Guardians at 193 and the Angels at 202. Slow starts, just to say the least here. Ew.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not fun hitting in 28 degrees, Donnie, with the wind blowing. It kind of hurts, Donnie, to say the least. So. And we always know, Donnie, right, in some spots here, maybe the pitching a little bit ahead of the hitting right now, but we all know as the warmer weather starts to come, that kind of evens itself out here a little bit.
All right, ready for the good topics right now. I like to be the fashion police and say, you know what, swag up, swag down, drip looks good, drip doesn't look good. How about this one, Edwin Diaz, who rolled out the stretch yesterday in a brimless hat. Just a regular Dodgers cap with the bill sliced off. He said Tanner Scott started this trend. So let me ask you a question, Joe. We've all wore hats thousands of times in our life. When you want to take your hat off, Joe, answer me this question. How do you do it?
It's a great point, Donnie. I mean, I guess you'd have to ask a sous chef because that's kind of what he looks like with that hat on there, like he's working the kitchen. What are you doing, man? You need there's got to be. It almost looks like it's a backwards hat, Donnie. But when there's nothing behind it. Like, what are you? Yeah, no, not a fan. Not for the players. Not a fan.
Little thin ski cap can get away and do the same exact thing. Like when I take my hat off, I don't grab the top of my head and pull it off. I hold the brim, and take it off quite easily. There is no brim on that hat. I don't know how you take it off, but then wrestling with your head to tear it off. Stupid look. Please go away. But now that you see, now we go into the next level, Joe, where we're going to take your kid or take your friend or your whoever to a ball game. Dad, let me get a hat. All right, let's go in there. We'll get you that Phillies hat, that Dodgers hat, that Nationals hat. No, Dad. I want the brimless hat. Is this going to work, Joe? It can't work, can it?
No, it won't work. I don't know I would not buy that, Donnie. And I love, I'm a hat guy, and I would never in a million years own one of those. Not happening.
By the way, like 90. So we'll use the fashion out here. 90% of the people like to wear hats too, because when you go outside, it protects your eyes from the sun. There's a reason why Major League Baseball players don't wear a brimless cap in the outfield, because it protects you from the sun. This is ludicrous on more levels than one here, but always happy to comment when the fashion police need to arrest somebody, and please arrest Diaz for this ridiculous fashion faux pas. How about Cade Horton going to have some surgery on his UCL, excuse me. Add the A in there. Actually, you know what, Joe? Did we start something here? He's going to have a UCLA at this point right now. Tough scene for Cade Horton.
Is it kind of ironic that he's actually having the UCL surgery at UCLA Medical? Is that,
oh, wow.
Could that actually be, is that ironic? I'm just saying, that's kind of crazy there, Donnie, that you pulled that out there. You just one step ahead of it there. But bad luck. Not good.
See it all the time.
And you hate to see it, too. You really do.
It's tough seeing at this point here. We'll keep rolling on. By the way, have you ever felt like, I'm in the Big Apple, now I'm going to go to the tiniest apple in Sacramento? Take a look at what McNeil's going through with the A's.
What have the past few months been like for you, especially just being with the Mets for your entire career?
Yeah, it's been it's been crazy. Just getting traded and spending 7 years with the Mets. Enjoyed my time over there, and nothing but great things to say about that organization. But got traded, and love it over here, and we got a great group of guys over here, and we're having a lot of fun, and it's been nice.
Dude got sent to Siberia. That's where he got sent, and he just was trying to be really nice about it at this point. He goes, I was living in New York City. Now I'm in Sacramento, and the fans don't even understand where we play, where we're going to play. And by the way, in a couple of years, I won't even be in this city either, and neither will this team.
And just as many postseason games as the Mets are this year, which is 0. So don't worry about it. You're all good to go, man. You ain't missing much over there. Enjoy your time out west.
And by the way, too, Joe, it's not like you got New York City. It does have high taxes, but California is on a completely different level. Like, not only do you get traded from New York City to Podunk, Sacramento, and they get drilled with taxes and play in a ballpark that seats like 1,500 people, and then they tell you got to buy another place in Las Vegas and get ready for the move. Just the way it is, Joe. By the way, Carlos Santana placed on the IR, 2 for 24 the season. Former Philadelphia Phillies great here, struggling there with some injury situations. It's Major League Baseball season. It's Masters season. It's time to have fun. We'll continue to roll along on the early line coming up next. Kevin, quickly, athletics and your Yankees tonight. Yanks 8-2 on the season. Severino Warren, and he looks on a heavy favorite for the Yanks tonight. Quick.
Yanks regular season juggernauts. Judge bounces back after doing nothing yesterday.
That's a pro. That's a pro right there. It's Kevin Walsh. Catch him and Gabriel Morency tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern on Game Time Decision. The world is your oyster, Joe. Where do we go tonight for a best bet that Joe Ranieri's smoking hot with a plus money winner yesterday on a run, an unsuspecting run line on the Orioles, Joe? Where do we go tonight?
Well, yeah, I just want to make sure that we're on the scene.
It's
We are. Okay,
total,
good. So let's go Yankees. Yep, let's go. We're going to go Yankees-A's, and we are going to look at the over here, especially with 2 pitchers on the mound. Both bullpens have had some work here over the first couple of days. So I think Severino and Warren, they're going to need these guys to go a little bit longer than maybe they're going to be capable of going. Listen, I don't see any reason why against these 2 guys we can't get some runs with these 2 liners. We had 8 last night, and that was actually rather easy. I think even without Judge hitting there last night, I think he can bounce back here against Severino. I think the Yankees are primed for 6 or 7 runs alone here. I like their team total and the game to go over here tonight.
8.5, Joe. I'm surprised the graphic didn't say alt total 10.5 and really get the party started in the Bronx tonight at around 7 o'clock here. Let's flip it over to Major League Baseball. We'll include another Los Angeles team. That's the Dodgers on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Ohtani is on the mound today to take on Cease. A really good matchup. And also, the Dodgers may be looking for a sweep over Toronto. They are the favorites in the Kalshi marketplace. A 61% chance to win this game outright. So a $100 investment would pay back $162. And if we're looking at some of those options to hit home runs, how about Freddie Freeman? You think he goes yard tonight, Joe? $100 investment would pay you back $715.
Not a bad look there, Donnie. Not a bad look at all. Listen, this is interesting with Ohtani and Cease, right? A couple of aces. Toronto went out and got Dylan Cease. to be this kind of guy. They got to stop the bleeding. The problem is they can't hit right now. And I don't know that they're going to hit any against Ohtani either. Yeah. I tend to lean to the Dodgers, maybe in the first 5, but I also wouldn't be opposed to a strikeout prop here with Ohtani. I think he can. I think he can get a few in this game here. So that's how I would look. And maybe, just maybe, I don't know, a Freddie Freeman home run. He's been crushing the ball lately.
LA after a hot start, started getting off to a hot start, which everybody expected. Toronto Blue Jays ice cold to start the season. Not a lot of people expected that. Look, Toronto maybe having that hangover from the World Series. Big win today could happen, but they're going to have to knock off Ohtani, as we said. Seattle and Texas, afternoon Major League Baseball today, Joe. 2:35 p.m. Eastern start. The favorite in this game, it's Seattle, currently trading at 54%, followed by Texas at 46% in this one, Joe. Afternoon action in Texas here. And these are two teams that we figure will battle each other all summer long for AL West supremacy.
Yeah, and both these teams right now can't hit water if they fell out of a boat, Donnie. So you've got Brian Wu, who's got no problem missing bats in this spot here, and it feels like another one of these. Be willing to take a strikeout prop, also be willing to look at less runs, not exactly more runs in here. What was it, 3-2? Last night. On Monday, it was 2-1. Are you sensing a theme here? It feels like with these two guys on the mound, yeah, maybe an under here today.
Julio Rodriguez, you think he hits a home run today? Currently only trading, Joe, at 15 cents here. $100 investment pays back $6.67. Wow, why are these numbers so low? Well, it's pretty simple. You're getting some good pitchers on the mound and struggling offenses here. You can also take out contracts on the no if you feel these guys certainly won't go yo. But let's also take a look, Joe. Getting into the market of Major League Baseball, pro baseball players to be traded. It's kind of early for that, no? It's sitting in the early months of April at this point. Maybe some guys get upset with that. How about Adley Rutschman here of Baltimore? If they falter, could he be on the market? He's actually currently trading to be traded at 75 cents right now. Fernando Tatis out there in San Diego, Joe, a 50% clip. How about Gunnar Henderson in Baltimore at a 50% clip at this point here? Never too early to talk about the trade market if teams falter. And also, Joe, a looming CBA argument for December 1st, 2026.
Isn't everybody tradable, Donnie? Isn't that what? Oh, no, it's a wrong sport. I'm sorry. No, no. It's the same sport. Yes, it's the same across the board. Anybody is tradable. I'll tell you who I think is tradable. How about Sandy Alcantara of the Marlins, Donnie? I don't know what his price is, but the guy goes 9 innings yesterday, gets a shutout, has to go, and then his team ends up losing in extra innings once again. I think Alcantara's days are numbered in Miami. I think he'll be wearing a Yankees uniform before it's all said and done.
And by the way, he already did thank the fan or fans that were actually in the stadium last time he had a dominant performance, and they won the baseball game there in Miami. Could he be on the move? Everybody loves to look at pitching. He's going to be a sought-after player, no doubt about it, this season. If we take a look at the market to make the postseason on Poly Market, I'll go down to my Philadelphia Phillies, currently trading at a 50% chance. But if you want to buy in, Joe, on that contract, it's actually 69 cents. The Phillies to make the playoffs, a $100 investment pays back $139. Early, yes. Phillies got clubbed last night. Yes, they did. But the Phillies making the playoffs here, Joe. Sound investment to pick up about $40 and hold on to it for 6 months, no?
Not a bad way to go. What about Pittsburgh, Donnie? Could Pittsburgh actually make the playoffs here in a spot? I think that's going to be also I know that's going to be the public darling there. Everyone's going to want Pittsburgh and be rooting for them there. But, hey, listen, there's a lot to be excited about for Pittsburgh, that's for sure.
How about this? Lowest ERA in Major League Baseball. You can invest in that, and your usual suspects, they're going to be up top. It's early in the season. Tarek Skubal did take a loss yesterday, but still trading, Joe, currently as the favorite has a 23% chance to get that done. Paul Skeens was fantastic yesterday and also very good in the start before that opening day, which really wasn't his fault. He sits at 17%, and the Philadelphia Phillies, Christopher Sanchez, at 13%. Early in the season, but as I said, Joe, the usual suspects up top here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a shock. I mean, again, Paul Skeens, I mean, Skubal lost 1-0, I think, his last start. It was a 4-2 game yesterday, but I don't think he gave up more than a run. I mean, Skubal is the likely choice, but so is Alcantara. Again, 24 innings before yesterday, he made it without giving up an earned run. He's a guy to keep an eye on. Both Cy Young market as well.
Home run leaders, we love to talk about it. Last year, had a couple guys pulverizing baseballs, which include Cal Raleigh in the American League and Kyle Schwarber in the National League. If we look at it this season, Aaron Judge still listed at the favorite at 33%, followed by Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Schwarber at 15%. But if we do look at the current standings here for top home runs in Major League Baseball, Shea Langoliers, 5. Chase DeLauder, the young rookie here for the Guardians, he has 5. And also Drake Baldwin, Atlanta, young player, 5 home runs as well. Yordan Alvarez, Joe, sits at 4 home runs so far in the season. If you think he can get the job done, it's actually only 9 cents that he's trading at. A $100 investment would pay back $1,112 if Alvarez can lead the way. Any thoughts for you, Joe, on who can lead Major League Baseball this year in home runs?
No, he's a guy you definitely need to keep an eye on. If he stays healthy, don't forget, I mean, he wasn't healthy last year, and it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, but the guy's one of the most preeminent power hitters in all of Major League Baseball, plays in a park that's conducive. I like Alvarez at that price, Donnie, because he can go on a tear, and they'll come in bunches, and you can make some money quickly there in that market.
And also, you can take the no contracts on these players here. If you feel Aaron Judge, hey, I get everybody in Major League Baseball but Aaron Judge, and you pick the no, a $100 investment pays back $137. Doesn't sound like a lot, but you get 1,000 baseball players versus 1 baseball player. All it takes, Joe, 1 IL stint for 2 weeks, and you probably can have that wrapped up here. And that'll wrap up the show on Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. We'll see you on a Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your day.